welcome to Board Games Daddy. Today it's the smell of a classic Between Two Cities from Stonemaier Games. The box is so shiny that the glare itself is blocking the view here because it's the sunlight that you get behind the mountains that's shining on the two cities that you are going to build with your partner during this game. Before we get and visit the two cities, just to remind you that we are very close to the 3,000 subscribers. So if you could leave that like and hit the subscription button for me to have more people joining this community, that will be truly helpful. And thank you for that in advance. So, what is Between Two Cities? There are lots of games that are connected between two cities, Castles of King Ludwig, Between Castles of King Ludwig. I believe this is the one that started it all, or at least one of the oldest. Don't ask me about timelines, I don't know. But this is a fairly compact box. And minimum 3 players, so be careful with that. There is a variant for 1 or 2, but I guess the minimum 3 would be the original game. It's simple, 80 years old, minimum, and 25 minutes. And that's true, I've played the game. This goes very fast. It's not a complex game that takes the whole evening. It's not the filler as well. So it's something in between. It's a very light game. It's like a sushi go thing, right? Where you want to play something with some strategy, but at the same time, not that complex. Good entry game for people. That's what you have here with Between Two Cities. So, and what is Between Two Cities? First of all, let me see the date here. So it says 2015. So do your own math to see if this is one of the oldest of Stonemaier or not. People will be sitting in a table. In fact, the perfect setup will be a round table because you will be building two cities. The one on your left and the one on your right with tiles, as you see here. And the thing is, this city is going to be shared between these two players, and this city is going to be shared between these two. So you'll be collaborating to build this city together, these two players, as well as these two will be collaborating to build this city. So everyone will have a city in between them. Also, for sure you can do that with a square or rectangle table, but this would be the ideal setup indeed. And in the end of the game, you'll score points, as you'll see, because the different types of buildings will score differently, like Sushi Go, like Set Collection, etc. And what counts for the end of the game to win is from your two cities, the lowest score, the one with less points that you collaborated, needs to be the highest for you to win. So it's not the highest city, is the second one that needs to be the highest than others. And if there is a tie between some players, like for example me and the other player who scored the same lowest but highest among lowest, then you have the first city, the highest one, to untie. That's it. And then what you get inside is a manual. It's a very small manual because this is fairly simple. Lots of conversations for how to set up. Then the types of buildings. I'll show the buildings themselves and explain to you how to score, different examples, and the two-player variant that has only this amount here of rules or difference in rules. And you use the manual as a quick reference guide throughout the game as well. Super simple, right? So, yeah, then you have a huge amount of tiles which are going to be drafted, like mentioned here. So this will be played during 3 rounds, and it works like 7 Wonders, where you'll draft the tiles between the players on the first round. Then on the second round you draft the rectangular ones. You see, I'll show. See there, and then on the third round you draft again the squared ones, 7. Okay, and this is what you get. So I'm gonna get one example of each to give you an overview how to score things. Okay, so let me just get, I guess there's one missing here. Yeah, this one. So let's start with the easy one, the parks. Oh, by the way, as you've seen here on the images, when you build your city, the city is limited to a grid of 4 by 4. So no extra things pointing out. You need to put everything on a 4 by 4. So even if it's not good for you, you need to do it, because some bad things may happen when you combine certain tiles. And if you don't have any other chance, you need to do that by the end. So parks to start. So you see there's a bridge, someone crossing a bridge, walking on a park. In the end of the game, you'll score 2, 8, 12, for connected park tiles, and could be vertically or horizontally. So it's really only worth to have 3, because when you go to the 4th one, it's just 1 extra point. 1 extra point, and beyond that, it's also 1 extra point, 1 extra point. So we don't want cities with big parks, just 3 would be enough. Okay, and then you have the services, where you have this is a hotel, like an hotel. Then are restaurants, discos, and the hotels, right? So this is a bar, restaurant, disco, and hotel. If you have one of them, it's 1 point. But if you have 2 different ones, it's already 4. 3 different ones would be 9. And then there's a big jump here to 4. If you get 4 different ones, 17. Wow, it's really good to have 4. What else here? Yeah, then you have the shops. So shops is like the parks, but limited to 4. If you get 4 of them, it's 16 points, which is good. But the thing with the shops is that they need to be in straight line, horizontally or vertically. So you cannot have like a snake of shops. It doesn't work. They need to be aligned horizontally or vertically. And if you have like a row of shops and then a column of shops as well, the shops only count once. So you cannot count the same shop for two different arrangements. Offices. So the more you have, the more points you score. Maximum 21, so maximum 6. And then you score 1 extra point for each of them if that office is adjacent to a service. Like, for example, the hotel. So if it's like this, it gives you 1 extra point. Be careful, because it's just 1 extra point. The office could be surrounded by bar, hotels, restaurants, discos, and that would give only just 1 extra point. 1. Okay, so you don't need to overflow your office. And it's just 1 point, so maybe it's not your ideal strategy. Then houses. Who builds a city without houses, right? So the houses are worth from 1 to 5 points, depending of how many different types of buildings you have on your city. So a city that has all 5 different things, a house will be worth 5 points. It's very good when you have a very mixed city. However, if you place a house near a factory, that house only is worth 1 point, regardless of the rest of the services there in that city. So that's the bad things that could happen in the end, where you only have like one place to put the tile, and you get the house, and there's nothing else you can do. So you will have not the best option for you, but it happens. And then the factories. The factories are not always bad, because you can also score with the factories, and the way you score is if your city is the one with the most factories, each of them will be counting 4 points. Then on second place, 3 points. And beyond that, factories only count 2 points. So you can play around with factories, avoid houses, etc. And you can end up scoring a lot. Then what is the difference for these tiles? So in the middle of the game, on the second round, you draw 3 of these, which are basically 2 houses together, 2 buildings together. And it's more difficult to put in the city, because it forces you to a different geography, but you have all the types of buildings that you've seen combined here together. That's it in terms of tiles. Then, for you to identify your city, you have these buildings, which I'm going to show you, because some people like to identify the buildings, the real buildings that are behind these tokens. I cannot do for all of them, but I can do the easy ones, like, hey, you see the Eiffel Tower. So this will represent a city. And then you have the pyramids, That's easy. Coliseum, easy. Okay. Then beyond those, it's difficult for me. So this looks like a very typical bridge that you can see in many places. But you tell me in the comments if you know where this is. Then there's this arc. Some people said St. Louis, but I'm not sure, I haven't checked that out. There's the arc. And then these two look like more Oriental Asian things. This looks like a pagoda in Japan or something similar. And this one looks like an arc. It's kind of an arc, right? But I don't recognize the geometry here, the shape doesn't ring any bell. But I'm curious, if you know what it is, please share in comments. Okay. So what you have there below is something. Oh, there is also something hidden here below, which is the Automata single player solo mode. And the game board. There is a game board, yes, but it's the most useless game board of all the time, which is just for you in the end of the game to score the cities. And it's like a snake, very confusing. It goes here, here, then here. See how this works, if this makes really any sense. You go here, and then you go and here, and then you go and here, and then you go and here. It's super strange, right? This is super strange. But then on the other side, what you have is you go here, and then you go up, and then you go here, and you go up, and then you go here, you go up, and then you go here. Go figure, go figure. So you have two options of scoring if you like to go snake-like or typewriting track, like chicka 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 pshk, chicka 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 pshk. Go to left again. So super strange. And just to end things, there's also some cards, which is a reference guide to help you to score, and the cards for the solo mode here. I'll show you. I don't know how to read those. I've never played solo. Okay. And really, the setup is really important for this game. They make lots of rules for it, and they also have some cards that will help you to distribute the players in the table, right? So if you don't have no idea how to distribute people, they have like ideas for you to sort people out. So wake up time in the mornings, and then you put everyone according to that. Alphabetical by first letter of current favorite game, number of currently worn pieces of cloth, accessories, and objects in pockets, height, sorry. Alphabetical by last movie watch. I don't know why they spend so many time. Hair length. We need a rule to measure hair length. Yeah. I don't know why they did this, because to be honest, you just like, hey, sit randomly in the table. There's no difference. Because everyone plays at the same time. So it's truly strange why they are suggesting these mini games almost to deploy people in the tables. But there is an important thing here, which is you really need to give people a card, one of these, because these numbers matter. They are like from 1 to 15 or something. And the reason why they matter is, imagine if you and your neighbor are disagreeing or where a piece should be put, both want the same place, for example, then the game foresees that, and the criteria for untying that is the player who has the lowest number here is the one that decides first. Okay, that's the only useful thing that I see here on these cards, because the rest, forget about that indeed. But please don't forget, what you should not forget is to play between two cities, and to leave that like, consider subscribing. I truly invite you to check the channel if you like my channel, if you like board games and card games in general, because I truly believe that I have interesting content for you there. And I hope then to see you on the next video. Thank you. Goodbye.